for joining us on, Thank you for joining us on a Monday morning. We have quite a few members here, about 50 members joined us this morning, and we have several folks here from Dorvie, and we're really excited to roll out this brand new member benefit and to talk about how it all works and to answer your questions. Members, if you have a question, you should be able to click on chat or Q&A at the bottom of your screen and type those questions in, and we will get to those at the end here. We'll probably answer a lot of them as we go along. And Mikkel, are you going to share your screen?
I can.
Okay.
Just a moment.
Then we can get started. We've been Zooming for about 4 years, and sometimes it doesn't get any easier, does it?
It just, some days, and it's Monday, so. Okay, you all let me know when you can see the screen.
We can see that.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining us this morning. My name is Mikkel Thomas, and I oversee all of our concierge operations for Dorvie. So we're super excited to speak with you this morning, answer questions, give you an overview of the concierge program for Kendal at Home, our new partnership. We're super excited and to introduce our concierge team to you. So I want to go through these slides, and at the end, you'll have an opportunity to ask questions and share with us just how you're thinking in terms of using the service. But just to give you a little bit of overview of how Dorvie got started, we get this question a lot. What is Dorvie? Where did that name come from? What does it mean? And so the name Dorvie is actually a play on the French term for golden life, which is a vidor. So that's exactly what our mission is, to give members the experience of golden life by giving you back time in your day. We're taking care of those everyday tasks, so that way you have time to spend on things that you really want to, instead of the mundane day-to-day things that we all have to take care of around the house. Just a few quick facts about Dorvie. What we do, our whole concierge experience really results in a consolidated service experience for you as members. We have a comprehensive service catalog. Our personal concierge team is available to answer all your questions and help you with scheduling, help you with selecting services and all of the details that go with that. And that really gives you the predictability, the reliability, and the proactive service that comes with our concierge platform. We are all across the United States in over 17, actually 18 states now, with 100 plus service providers. So that means that our service network is constantly growing, adding new providers, adding new services to be able to deliver those services for you wherever you call home. And in a nutshell, this is basically what Dorvie is. As a concierge platform, we are a curated service provider that provides members with a stress-free and hassle-free experience by, as I mentioned, taking care of those everyday tasks and so many more things. So based on whatever your particular needs are, we will tailor the scheduling to suit that preference. So if you need help with something just one time, maybe something in your home or maybe a lifestyle service, we are happy to arrange that for you. Or if you'd like to have ongoing support, whatever that looks like, the frequency could be something that you need weekly or bi-weekly, something that you just need once a month or once in a while, we're happy to take care of those things. And as you'll see listed here on the screen, these are some of the services we provide. This is not a total list. There are so many other things that we couldn't even, there's not enough room to put all the things that we're able to do for you. But this is an example of some of the most requested services, such as home repairs, home maintenance, lawn care, private car service, personal assistant services, prepared meal delivery, even something like solar panel cleaning, if you have those in your home, pet services, as well as downsizing and moving services if you want to clear out things out of your basement, out of your garage, or just get things organized. If you happen to be moving to a different residence, we're happy to help you get those items, get your home ready for the market if that's necessary, or if you're just going to make some right sizing changes, we're able to help with all of those things and so much more. So just because something is not listed here as a service that we have done already or that we typically do, we are able to help. So please give us a call and let us know what it is that you need, and we're happy to create that solution for you. Our concierge team are made up of experts who are really skilled in delivering this customized service for you. And they are on the call with us today. We have Kat, we have Talea and Jenny, and they're standing by to assist, and Farah, to assist you with selecting, scheduling, and coordinating all of your service details. They're going to remain your point of contact throughout that experience to make sure that you have exactly what you need. They're going to keep you updated every step of the way. And in addition, Farah oversees our vendor partnerships. So that means she's maintaining the vast provider network that we have by continually adding those services. And I'll give them an opportunity to say hello. We've got Kat Murphy, our lead concierge, on the line with us today.
Hi, everyone. So glad to meet everyone and having this kickoff call. It's wonderful. I've already been in contact with a number of members as well as some of the care coordinators. I've exchanged emails with Stephanie and Heather, so we're already started. But as Mikkel said, the concierge team will be your go-to point of contact with any services you may need. I can communicate however you like, by email, by phone, whichever you prefer. And we'll set up services for you on a day and time that really works for your schedule. We want to accommodate your life and get things scheduled when it's convenient for you. We'll also send out reminders, and we'll also follow up after service to make sure that everything went really well. We take care of billing as well. You never need to worry about paying a vendor. We will always take care of that for you. And we do not bill you until we've had the opportunity to check in to make sure you are happy with the service provided.
Thanks, Kat.
Mhm.
Pop it over to Farah and introduce her, and then we'll circle back, Farah, in a little bit to go through what the vendor partnership details look like.
Good morning, everyone. Nice to meet you all, and can't wait to help serve more services for you guys in your areas. As Mikkel mentioned, I am our vendor partnership manager. So I am the person that vets all of the providers that'll be coming out to your home. We have national providers as well as those within the local community. For any of you that have any providers that you've worked with before, I'm happy to be able to connect with them, to onboard them and vet them properly to add them onto our provider list. In terms of vetting process, I do make sure that they are licensed and insured, as well as making sure that they are background checked. And then, of course, for those background checks for each employee who may work in and around your home, we always strive to negotiate the best pricing for you. Of course, with the more volume that we have, the better we can drive down the pricing. And then we repeat this process for all services, no matter what the service is. So I can't wait to meet you guys.
Thanks, Farah. And so just to give you an idea of how the concierge program works, just an overview of how it starts to finish, 4 basic steps. So when you all have a need, something that arises that you need our concierge services for, you as a member would reach out to us, or as a staff member, if you're reaching out on behalf of one of your members, you just let us know what the need is. We will, as Farah mentioned, make sure that all of the providers for that service are vetted. We will coordinate all of the services, including the scheduling. We will communicate with the vendor and as well as you and the member to keep you updated on how the scheduling will go as we have coordinated that perfect time for you according to your availability and the provider's availability. And then we follow up to make sure that everything went well with your service, that you're satisfied with it. Then you will receive a consolidated bill. Consolidated, if you happen to have more than one service, you won't get multiple bills. You'll just get the one because we will pay the provider directly. You'll never have to pay the provider directly. A few frequently asked questions. I always like to share this because we have these are some of the questions that members ask us quite frequently. Does this replace any of my current benefits as a Kendal at Home member? No, it does not. So Dorvie Concierge Services are a complement to your existing Kendal at Home benefits. You do not have to pay for any additional services from Dorvie other than the actual cost of your selected service. So that's question number 2. Do you have to pay to access Dorvie? No, you don't. You only pay the cost of your selected service. There is no additional markup added to the service pricing. Included in the vetting process, as Farah alluded to earlier, all of our service providers are required to pass background checks. They must be insured, and where their particular trade requires it, they have to be licensed. So in the case of like a plumber or HVAC or electrical, they must carry licensing within the state of service. And we partner with the best of the best in your community to make sure that they can deliver that highest quality of service. So that means when we're vetting providers, we're looking for providers who not only are going to provide that high quality of service for you, but they're also going to understand that sometimes we may need a little bit more time. We may need a little bit more information. Sometimes they're out just to do an estimate and give us a price on what the actual service will run. Then you can make a decision as a homeowner if you're ready to move forward we'll schedule it. If you want to wait or get a second estimate, we're happy to arrange that as well. Last question that we listed here, do you need an app to contact the concierge team? You do not. No app is required. You're able to connect with your concierge team via phone or email, whichever method you prefer. There are real people on the other side of these telephone calls as well as emails to help you whenever you need. And we'll go through what those direct contact methods are in just a moment. To give you an idea of kind of what some of the experience has been for many of our members already, this is what we're hearing from other members in other markets about their services, whether it's landscaping, whether it's handyman, home cleaning, or pet services, just as an example. But we want to get that feedback from you to hear, how was your experience? Was it everything that you wanted it to be? Was there anything that we could have done differently to improve it, or something else that we can help you with? If for any reason whatsoever it wasn't quite what you expected, it didn't hit the mark, we're going to make sure that it's right. If that means sending back the provider to redo the service or finish up or add something on, whatever that looks like, we're going to make sure it's taken care of for you to your satisfaction. And then, as I mentioned, to connect with your concierge, 3 easy ways that you can connect with us. We have a web portal that is specifically dedicated for Kendal at Home members. You can fill out the form online and just tell us like who you are, where you are, what services you're interested in. That information will come into our team and we can then follow up with you. Sometimes you're just wanting to get information and sometimes you're ready to go. You want something done as soon as possible, and we can handle both of those types of requests. We have an SMS enabled line, and that means that direct phone number is able to receive text messages. So if you want to just text us and ask a question, you're welcome to do that. If we're sending you a reminder about maybe an upcoming service that you have the next day and you prefer for us to just text you, we can do that as well. And this is the number it would come from every time, so you could recognize it. Concierge at Dorvie is our inbox for the concierge team. When you send an email to that, our entire team sees it. So that way we can respond to you quickly and let you know an answer to whatever your question is, or if you're sharing information with us, that is how you can reach us as well. So that's a brief overview of what Dorvie services are. We know that doesn't completely answer every question you could possibly have. So we are happy to answer anything that you'd like to know about Dorvie or our services, our team, and how we can help you.
Thank you, everyone. It does appear that the chat option is not working. So if you have a question, you need to click on Q&A at the bottom of your screen, and you can type in those questions and we will answer those. I just want to summarize and reiterate what all of the staff from Dorvie have already said, but we have dedicated concierge assigned to Kendal at Home. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mikkel, but that phone number that they're calling will alert you that is a Kendal at Home member that is calling, because it is that dedicated phone number for our members, correct?
That is correct, yes.
And as a member benefit, we're covering your ability to have unlimited access to Dorvie. So if you need a plumber and an electrician and a snow service all in the same month, Dorvie will take care of all of those services and consolidate those services into one bill that would go directly to you. And that's correct. They would get billed once a month for any services utilized. Is that how it works? Yes. Okay.
That is correct. So, and I see that someone's asking us to put the phone number up again. So let me pull that. Yep. Marla, and we can either drop it here in the Q&A, and I'm sure you'll send the follow-up messaging with all of the contact information.
Yes, we are recording the sessions today and tomorrow. I'm actually going to also send out the PowerPoint, if that's okay with Dorvie, to members, as well as kind of an FAQ, facts and question summary for everyone. We will put up the phone number.
Yes.
What is Dorvie's financial agreement with Kendal is a question. So Kendal at Home pays a concierge fee per member per month to Dorvie. The services provided by the providers, the plumber, the electrician, are not increased. There's no money taken off the top. If they charge $100 an hour, that is what Dorvie is paying the plumber, and that is what Dorvie is billing you. They are making their money from working with nonprofits that are part of Leading Age, and by charging concierge fees. And as a member benefit, we decided we would cover those concierge fees so that you have unlimited access to their services.
And then I noticed someone asked about the hours. So as you see listed here, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. So that is when our team is available for you. You can reach out anytime with any of those methods for our team. For after hours, for weekends, just know, and as this is noted, when you call into Dorvie, if you were to call us after those hours, you would receive the messaging for our after hours number or the line. The message would open up for you that this is not an emergency line. So if you have something for Dorvie, this is the time you would need to reach us between 9 and 5. If there are any services that would, for any reason, maybe spill over into the weekend or something after hours, then we would make sure that you would be able to then, the service provider would be able to reach you if by chance there was something after hours that needed to be arranged. But we would always be here for you during that time. For your Kendal at home benefits, again, that is a separate number. That is not the same as the Dorvie number. These are for non-care related benefits and services that we would coordinate for you. So anything that is related to your care with Kendal at home, you would still utilize that phone number for your Kendal at home. But for any of your concierge benefits coordinated through Dorvie, this is your dedicated phone number.
If you have any questions of who to call, I think there's a question here, always reach out to your care coordinator and they'll either assist you or tell you, yep, you can reach out to Dorvie. That is something they can help you with. Dorvie is not an emergency service line though, so they are not available 24/7. It doesn't replace our care coordinator on call if you need something from us or your care coordinator that you have contact with on a regular basis. A lot of questions. I'm going to try to field these to you all. You'd be able to find services to assist with internet snafus that somebody might be running into or
Yes.
technology services.
We do have tech support services available. Yes.
And someone's asking about in Maryland. So these services are national. So even if
Yes.
you have a vacation home in Florida and you need a plumber or electrician to come out to your second home or your vacation home, Dorvie's able to assist as well. We do
Yes.
have a couple of members that live on the West Coast, and we will be working with Dorvie to have access to that time zone so that you have access to a concierge on the West Coast as well.
Correct.
They're
So
asking,
whether it's 9 to 5 for their business day. So if they are in the West Coast, then that would still be 9 to 5 for their particular time zone.
thank you. They're asking if they can get estimates of service first before committing.
Absolutely. We have that request quite frequently. So service provider can come out for an estimate visit and they will give us what that will cost. Many times a member will want to know, again, what the estimated cost would be before they move forward. We share that information and that way you can decide if it is sometimes a more complicated or involved type of service that may have several layers and may be, pretty extensive work. They can prioritize what parts they want done first, if it's going to be in stages, or if there's several things to do on a to-do list, we can take care of the most important things first and then decide according to your schedule and the member's preference, which they'd like to have done and when. And then as well as if there's a second estimate needed. So if for some reason the first estimate feels too high, we're happy to get a second estimate from a provider. And that way you can make that determination as a member and move forward whenever you're ready to schedule.
Sounds good. Someone's asking if this replaces the relationship with Simplified Facilities Group, SFG, or our other PHME companies. And no, it does not. We would continue to schedule those benefits for your home modification evaluations through your care coordinator. On a consolidated bill, what is the level of detail for each service that they're paying for?
So we will itemize the bill so that you'll see which services you're being billed for. If, for instance, you had a dog walk and you also had a transportation service, if you had a home cleaning and maybe prepared meal delivery, whatever that looks like, we would itemize it for one bill. And that way you could just, see clearly which providers charge, which you'd already know that in advance, but your billing would itemize what your charges would be for. And if, for instance, you wanted to pay separately or however you wanted that to look, we're happy to accommodate that as well. We do the consolidation just for convenience for you as a member so you don't have multiple bills.
Someone's asking if the concierge service would remain free for the foreseeable future. That was a mouthful. Yes, absolutely. As a Kendal benefit, we don't foresee that those charges would be relayed to members. We talked about estimates. If you're not seeing Q&A, I'm being told that you can either click Q&A or there might be an option to say my questions and be able to click there to type in a question. You don't have to include your care coordinator when you're contacting Dorvie. This can be done independent of your care coordinator, but certainly if you need their assistance or you're not sure who to reach out to, then absolutely please circle back to your care coordinator. If it happens to be a service that is a benefit as a member, someone's asking about being payable under our Kendal contract, that's conversations that we have had with Dorvie. And if it is something that you're requesting that is a member covered benefit, they will reach out to us directly and we'll go from there.
Mhm.
They are asking if Dorvie is able to get discounted rates from providers.
So as Farah mentioned, our goal is to always provide the most affordable price for any of the services. We're not always looking for the the least expensive because we want the quality to be there. So we want to make sure that that provider is giving competitive prices, and we know what the price range should be within the market if they're out of that price range. However, we will definitely drive down that price. The more volume we're able to send to a vendor, then that typically results in us being able to negotiate a lower price. But you'll always know what that price is ahead of the scheduling. And then, as I mentioned, if we need to select or search for a second provider, a different pricing, we can certainly do that. But our most important element that we're looking for is the quality of service at the best price. And so those are the providers that we're looking for. And then when they offer promotional specials or discounts, we certainly pass those on to you as members so that you can take advantage of those as well.
Linda, you're asking if I got your question, and I might have inadvertently looked over it. If you want to type that back in, I will be happy to answer it. Someone's asking if you have relationships with Uber and Lyft.
We do not. So we don't partner with Uber or Lyft, but the private transportation services are for licensed drivers, insured drivers that are specifically for transportation companies. And what that means is this is a dedicated car service. It is not like a 1099 or gig worker, somebody that's just doing it kind of as their side job. The companies that we partner with for transportation service solely do that. And oftentimes, depending on what it is that you need, we can find a provider who, if you need a wheelchair-enabled vehicle, if you need a special circumstance where maybe the driver needs to come to the door to assist you to the vehicle or wait an extra bit of time for you, if they need to take you to an appointment and then wait for you during the appointment, or you need an extra set of hands for carrying something with you, those are the types of services that our transportation service providers give. So unlike Uber and Lyft, they're not going to pull up to the curb or your driveway and just honk and wait for you to come out. And you will know who's coming to your home for your transportation. And most likely that team is small, so you would likely have the same provider most times when you book a service, unlike Uber or Lyft, where you really never know who you're going to get. But that's why we partner with those transportation services for the special circumstance that most of our seniors do need. And that could be for recreational transportation. It could be for non-medical, but something that's not like, maybe you just need someone to drive you after you've had an outpatient procedure or you had, your eye exam or something like that, and you just need to be driven home or taken back and forth to the airport. It will likely be a little bit more expensive than Uber and Lyft because of those extra layers of care and professionalism that come with the dedicated car service.
How long has Dorvie been in business, Mikkel?
So Dorvie was established in 2022. So this is our third full year. Actually, we're heading into, and just to give you a little bit more background of how we came together, Dorvie is basically the brainchild of senior living community executives who came together and recognized that there was a gap in the ability to provide these type of services for members because your care coordinators are dedicated to helping you with care. And so to be able to then help you with things in your home is really outside of their normal scope of work for, a plumbing issue or maybe something like having prepared meals delivered or lawn care. And so these type of services were needed to supplement what your Kendal at Home team is doing for you. And other senior living communities, like I mentioned, came together to formulate a service that could provide the need for that gap. And that's how Dorvie came to be. Out of the need of senior living communities across the United States and in partnership with Leading Age to have those introductions to all of those communities who could utilize the service. And so Dorvie came to be because of that need for our partners such as Kendal at Home.
Someone's asking if you're working with any organizations out in California dealing with the fires right now, and I'm not sure what your presence out that direction?
We do have some partnerships in California, not necessarily with the disaster relief that's happening right now, but our service providers that are national can provide services for all of the United States. And then for local providers, as you can imagine, those providers in those affected areas, as with any natural disaster, are going to be extremely busy. But that's the great thing about having this network built out in advance, is that we have resources so that when something happens, you have the ability now to connect with Dorvie for partnerships that we already have in place, especially where you are as Kendal at Home members. And in those markets where we happen to maybe not have a provider as of yet, we are always in the market for sourcing those providers. So as Farah mentioned, if you have a provider that you've worked with in the past, or somebody that you would like to have join our network, we're happy to reach out to them and see if they would be interested in joining the Dorvie network. That would give them more business to drive their way as well.
You mentioned already that you are able to provide services to help with internet issues and those kinds of things. Someone is asking if they wanted to get advice on replacing TiVo. I don't even know what it is. I'm assuming it's a streaming service. Is that something that you'd be able to find somebody that could assist with providing some insight on making those suggestions?
We can definitely source a provider to help someone with whatever it is that they're trying to make a determination on. We can absolutely look for that for them.
Are there any particular services you can think of that are not healthcare related that you don't provide?
In a short answer, no, because we've been asked some of the most unusual things to get done. So basically, what we want you to think of Dorvie as like, even if you're saying, I'm not quite sure if they do this, but let me ask. So reach out to us, let us find out if that's something that we can help you with. Again, if it is something that is actually related to your care with Kendal, we will inform their team. But if it's something else that we can help you with, absolutely give us a chance to source that for you. And then you'll have the information you need to then move forward if you're ready to schedule a service.
I know our membership area is a new area for you. So someone's asking for turnaround time from when they make a request to when they can expect that estimate. And it might be, I would think, maybe a little longer as we're establishing relationships in our member service areas. But as a whole, do you have an estimate of how long that would take?
It really can be as early as the same day, and typically within the next day or the day after. It ultimately depends on when your availability is as a member, when you'd like to have a service done, and when the service provider is available. So sometimes we have emergent needs. So let's say someone needs transportation to the airport. Okay, so we can reach out to our transportation providers. We need to know pickup, drop-off locations. We will gather all the information we need from you. We will immediately start to source that provider and then get back to you just as quickly as possible. In the event that there is a delay, like if you live in a more remote area that's outside of the normal kind of city radius, if it's a little bit further out, or maybe the provider is delayed in getting back to us, we will keep you informed. That is our normal process, to keep you informed every step of the way so that you know there's been an unusual volume of requests, let's say, for this particular service. So all of our providers are incredibly booked right now, but as soon as we have an opening, they're letting us know, we're letting you know, but that way we keep you looped in. If it's something that's not really time sensitive and you want someone to come out and just take a look at something, it could be like a landscaping type estimate. The landscaper may, let us know he's going to come towards the end of the day. We'll let you know that, but it really ultimately depends on how quickly you need a service and how soon the provider is able to get out there for that service. Sometimes if you're asking for something that's pretty typical, like say a home cleaning, those are things that we would already know mostly the answer to, depending on the size of your home, number of beds, number of baths, where you're located. We can typically let you know the earliest availability for the home cleaners is, let's say it's Wednesday at 2:00, they can come out. So whatever that looks like for you, we will get back to you just as fast as possible.
There's a question about payment, and just to clarify, payment goes directly to Dorvie. Dorvie pays the provider of the services and then consolidates any bills if you have more than one service provided, and then bills members directly. Do they
Correct.
need to have a credit card on file with you? Could you talk about that process looks like the first time they call you and what they need to provide as far as information goes?
Yes, and actually, Kat, do you want to let them know how the payment works for billing?
Sure. So with payments, there's typically two types. There's recurring, which is typically like a home cleaning where you would be billed, each month for recurring home cleanings. Or there's a one-time invoice if you've just had a one-off service. So for the recurring, that we could keep a credit card on file and you would be billed automatically at the end of each month for any services provided. For a one-off, I would just invoice you for that particular service, and you could pay that by credit card or ACH, which are our only accepted payment methods. We're not able to accept personal checks. So I would email you that link for payment. But yeah, we can do it either one time or recurring and have your card on file.
And the first time they call you to set up an account, they're providing their address, phone number, email address, any other demographics that you need from a member the first time that they call?
No, I think you hit them all. Yeah, it's typically email, phone number, and address. And yeah, that's all the information I would need up front.
Okay. Someone's asking if Dorvie is available to non-Kendal at Home members. It's available to non-Kendal at Home members, but you're only partnering with nonprofit organizations currently that an individual is part of, correct? Not the general public.
So we do have some availability for the general public. That is a different and separate arrangement. So they would have to, their access to Dorvie would be through a paid subscription, which you as a member do not have to worry about at all. But for someone, let's say they, oh, my daughter could really use this. She lives in Maine. So then that would be, she's not a Kendal at Home member like you are as a member, but we could certainly connect with her and figure out, what exactly that she needs. If she's interested in a Dorvie subscription, it will be a different price point. She would actually need to pay for access to Dorvie, whereas you as a member do not.
Someone's asking about prepared meals, including dietary restrictions. Yes, absolutely. You're going to try to work with whatever the members' needs might be and find that resource for them. Correct?
Yes, we have multiple providers who have the ability to provide the type of meal that you need. So in some cases that includes dietary restrictions, that may be a low sodium or gluten-free diet, something for heart healthy or anything along those lines, special dietary restrictions. We also have local partnerships so that if someone would like to support a local small business that they know in the area and they can become part of our provider network, we have that available in several markets. So again, if there's a particular meal service that you like or know of or would like to support in your local market, we can certainly find that for you. We do have partners in place that can deliver anywhere, though, the type of meal that you have in mind or would need. And that can be one time or repeated. So if someone knows they have like an upcoming surgery plan and they know they're not going to be able to cook for themselves for a few weeks, or they just want to have preparedness, we can certainly help get that ready, but also for one-time use or for ongoing.
Someone's asking if they can recommend providers. Absolutely. If you have a provider that you prefer in your area as an electrician, a plumber, whatever that service might be, you can share with your care coordinator or with Dorvie directly, and they can work with that provider to be able to vet them and have them as a list on their list of providers in your region as well. Adult children or your care coordinator can contact Dorvie on your behalf to provide services for you as a Kendal at Home member. Yes. They're asking for a list of local providers, and I don't know if that's as easy as it sounds because it really depends on what the services are that you're looking for. Some of the providers Dorvie partners with are national providers and others are more local, but they are going through the vetting process as Mikkel had stated to be able to be a provider.
Exactly.
Yes.
So, and just to add to that, Marla, our list is so comprehensive. There's not really, we can't share an entire list of all the providers that there are, but certainly for your particular service that you're needing, we can give you, like I mentioned, the options of who's available for your particular service that you'd like to have. And that's why we're here for you. Anytime you need something, you might need something completely unrelated in the next month or the next month. So that's why you have unlimited access to Dorvie for any number of services that you need.
Linda, I'm sorry, I thought we answered this, but I'll go back to this question about the internet snafus. You would be able to try to find a provider that would be able to help with internet issues and questions.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we get that request quite a bit.
Okay, and we will talk internally. There's a question about access information being on our website, so we can work on that being available for members directly on our website as well. Someone's asking about meals being frozen or fresh. I think it really depends on the provider that's providing the meal. So that's something you'd have to talk through with Dorvie of what exactly you're looking for so that they can try to find that for you. I think there's likely
Exactly.
questions for both, I would think.
There are, absolutely. Mhm.
Well, I think we made it through all the questions. There are a lot of great
Nice.
questions. It's a lot
Those
of
are great.
information.
Yeah,
Um,
lots of great questions.
But just to go back, we did record this session today. We are offering the session again tomorrow at 3 o'clock. You don't have to be on tomorrow's session. You're more than welcome to be on again if you would like. We will, by the end of the week, provide a link to the recording, and I will have kind of a one-page facts and questions information on how it works, as well as share the link to the Zoom slides that they shared with us today. And we will work on getting information on our website as well. So thank you all from Dorvie for being with us today. And thank you to all of the members. We're so excited to have this new member benefit available. And while I have so many members online, I have to give a couple plugs, right? So just a reminder that today at 1 o'clock, we do have seated Tai Chi. And every Monday, we offer Movement Mondays at 1 o'clock, whether that's Baloflex with Terry or strengthening and balance exercises with Stephanie or seated Tai Chi with Heather. We also offer a monthly Spanish speaking class with our care coordinator, Natalie, in Massachusetts via Zoom. That has been a huge hit with members that are wanting to hone in on their Spanish speaking skills. And tomorrow at 1 o'clock, I believe it's 1 o'clock tomorrow, Dr. Ann Kenny is talking about all things aging, and the topic will be Parkinson's disease. So I just want to make sure if you're not checking your Friday emails or the website, we have some events coming up and want to make sure that everybody is aware. And we appreciate all of you in attendance. If you have any further questions we didn't get to, feel free to reach out to me directly, to Dorvie directly, or to your care coordinator, and we'll make sure we get your questions answered. Otherwise, everybody have a great rest of your day and a week. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us. Take care.
Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.